Hello, welcome to Full Time Reds. Well, it finished Liverpool 9. I'll say that again. Liverpool 9, Bournemouth 0, and no, Mo Salah couldn't score. So, all in all, a bit of a crazy day, Kev. How you doing, mate? Thank God we're finally doing a win.
We're finally doing a win. And do you know what? Whatever about the goals great. The performance today was outstanding. It was brilliant. It was everything you wanted to see, everything that we've been asking for. We've been demanding, effort, intensity, possession with intent. Players want the ball, willing to take risk, willing to gamble. Everything you wanted to see in that performance is what we've been dying to see for the last week. A week is a long time in football, and it's night and day the difference between that and Monday. I'm absolutely over the moon with that. Anyone not happy with that performance or that result, or the manner of the result, the manner of the goals today, football ain't your sport. That was absolutely outstanding, top to bottom.
But it was a disgrace, Kev, because it really should have been 10, shouldn't it? We should have got the record. Listen, if all I'm saying is the only disgrace is we didn't get 10 and Salah didn't score, well, that's such his life. Yeah, look, let's be fair. So we'll go back to, I jumped on with the show you guys last night. None of us were thinking it'd be a comfortable Liverpool win. We're all thinking this is going to be a tight win because we haven't quite clicked this season yet, and that's not an understatement. We haven't. But just everything clicked today. Everything went perfect. I felt there was a sign of this level of performance at times in the Palace game, especially in the opening half hour, which we just weren't clinical. For us now, it all felt perfectly. But let's look at the lineup. So there's only one change for the United game. Fabinho comes in for Milner, which makes sense. You can't really keep going back to the well with Milner. Any surprises for you? The only one for me was I did think Carvalho might have started, but
Yeah, I mean Henderson starting on the left-hand side of midfield was the surprise. I was adamant last night, and I'm still adamant that I prefer to see Harvey on the right wing rather than right mid, and I thought Carvalho earned his start. But hey, Jurgen Klopp knows both.
Mark B saying, "Welcome home, Matt. That's all we needed. We also get Matt's actually banned from the UK now.
Yeah,
but he's very good at segues. We'll give him
Matt's back in Canada, enjoying resounding result.
Yeah. So listen, look, season's value, but we're up to the dizzy heights of 9th now, Kev. Ooh. Yeah. But listen, we'll worry about the league in a few weeks' time.
Yeah.
Let's just enjoy the performance, really, because but what happened the first couple of minutes is what hasn't happened the first couple of minutes of the other games is we were just at it. It was quicker. We're intense. We were going at them thinking we haven't been doing this enough, especially in the United and Fulham games. We were so abject. It was ridiculous. Paul Gorman says we're up to 8th, even better.
The thing is, you got to look at it. Bournemouth at the first whistle, the first time they lost possession, they tried pressing us like everybody else has.
Yeah.
This time we looked like we had a plan to break through it, and when we broke through it with numbers and with intensity and purpose. And within 3 minutes, we're 1-up. I mean, my head is absolutely fried from the goals. I don't remember every single one. I've written down the goal scorers and the minutes that they've scored. But yeah, Mark A, apparently there's a program on BBC One. It's called Match of the Day. It comes on. I just haven't seen it for the last few weeks, but I might give it a watch tonight. Give it a go.
Yeah, apparently it's been shite until this week.
This week could be an epic one.
Yeah, so first one is I think it's Bob with the cross, actually, isn't it? And it's a really good header by Diaz. Which, to be fair, of all the things you think for Diaz, you don't think heading. You think drinky winger, but he's doing what you and me have sort of said we wanted to do, which is a little bit more end product. But he's doing what Sadio Mane was very good at is if the ball was so far out to the wide right, he ran in to become another number 9, just someone to occupy us. Which then it doesn't matter if Firmino drops out because you've got your number 9 there. And look, he takes his header really well. And there is a VAR check, but it doesn't take.
Yeah, it was right on the line. I mean, the thing is with the offsides this season, there is a margin of error that is slightly increased.
But with that one, even when they put the line across, you went, "Oh, he's miles behind."
Yeah, no, he was on. He was onside. It was really timed. But if you're playing on the left wing and the ball's out and you have to be inside. You have to be in there. And when he got the header and he headed it back where it came from, Mark Travers had no chance. And the thing is, Mark Travers didn't have a bad game today.
No,
do you know what I mean? The Bournemouth keeper didn't play poorly.
There's probably only one goal I think he could do better with. But I mean, in fairness,
our finishing today was there. You know
we
were
clinical. I mean, you were saying like our XG today was just over 3. So everything we hit also went in. I mean, to put into context, the bits I know about XG, headers generally have a low XG because it's statistically harder to score a header. So,
I mean,
the
next one is
the next one. Now, Bobby gets an assist for this.
Bobby,
I'm not sure how much. I don't think he knows fuck all about it. To be fair,
no, Bobby knows nothing about it.
But the finish, it was a hell of a finish. It just sweeps it in. Bottom left corner. It's a cracking finish, and it's great to see the emotion of a young player who's grown up a Liverpool fan. That's how we'd all feel, wouldn't it? If it was you or me scoring for Liverpool, that's how we'd feel. Especially when it's also a really good goal. Not bad for your first Premier League goal for Liverpool.
It's that, but it's the relief that the players know the pressure that they're under. I mean, they're under pressure anyway playing for Liverpool. But you can imagine the pressure because of the start of the season was intense. They knew the spotlight was on them, and they knew they had to turn up today and get a result by hook or by crook. It didn't matter how they got it. And 6 minutes gone, and you're 2 up, and they weren't 2 scruffy, scabby goals. You had a good header, a good cross, a good header, and then you have a lovely curling left foot shot into the side netting. It's an absolute perfect start.
It is, and then to us, they to be fair to them, they sort of get a bit of possession then, and Liverpool then started to play a bit more mature, which we haven't been doing for a while. Is people will sweep it up where they should be sweeping up, getting back to position. Gomez actually just sweeped up really well. Both fullbacks were tucking him they needed to. Trent and Robbo were both a bit more switched on to overlaps and what we need to do. And then Ali collects one of their crosses, and something he hasn't done probably now for a good while is picks up. I was going to ping it through the middle and use Salah's pace in the counter attack. Now, to be honest, Kev, we used to do that all the time. That used to just be just go for the quick counter, because if you don't get it, Salah's pace gets you so far up the pitch, you don't have to worry about it. And then Salah, again, one of the moves of the game, somehow puts himself in the goal, puts it wide. It was begging for a goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was that one, and there was one later on in the game. But that move deserved the finish. That move, that if there was a move today, it was anything that deserved to be finished. The interplay, the link-up play, the little flick back from Bobby into, I think it was Elliott. Elliott whipped the ball across. It was harder to miss it. It was harder to miss it. But Mo, I think, was just having one of those games, but he was getting in great positions. So I'm not worried about that.
If Mo's going to have one of those games, have one of those games when the rest of your team all pick up the slack.
Exactly.
Which is nice to say, basically, Luis Diaz has done what Manny would do. If Mo was having enough games done, Manny would pick up the slacks, and Bobby is on his day. So it's what you need. It's what you need there. So Ian McLaughlin says, anyone play fantasy football?
Bobby got
you 22 points. Paul Swift, what's he put? This does not mean we don't need to sign a midfielder or two. All right, Paul. Listen,
we know that.
It's stating the bleeding obvious. Everyone knows we want a midfielder. We've just won 9-0. Let's enjoy a 9-0. I mean, the last team to win 9-0 in the Premier League was United in 1995. We've never done it before in the Premier League. So, in a nice possible way, transfers and what we need to do to the team and injuries and all that, let's talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because in a nice possible way, I just want to enjoy a 9-0 win. I think sometimes you've got to live in the moment and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because look, so we could get beat next week by Newcastle.
Exactly, yeah.
So enjoy the wins.
You got to enjoy days like today, man. I mean, the third goal, Trent absolutely. I mean, look, before we get to Trent's goal, there's a couple of things today. Bobby's positioning, as opposed to the game against Manchester United, was much higher, much more intense in where he was pressing and how he was pressing, and also Henderson making those advanced runs from the left-hand side was really good as well. He was really good today.
which you pointed out is what Milner was doing at Old
Milner
Trafford.
did it at Old Trafford.
The reason it didn't work at Old Trafford, partly because Milner's owner, but Milner was making those runs higher up, but Bobby's still 20 yards behind him. And that's the issue. Whereas now he's doing 10 yards up, and then he's still got 3 lads in front of him which is pinning them back. Because I mean, look, I don't blame them. They went with a back 5. You know, why wouldn't you? Because that formula's worked in the first 3 games. Is go defensive, hit on the break. But
he didn't know whether. Sorry, I was going to say he didn't know whether to stick or twist, because there were times in the game today where he switched to a back 4, then he went back to a back 5, and he was back to a back 4 again. So, but their heads were fried once that Trent goal in, and that was another one that was just like he shouldn't have got to where he got to. They had a couple of chances to nick it off him and to get a position, but we kept the ball. And as soon as he shifted it, you just knew he was going to hit it, and it was. It was 3-0. It was game over. It was done and dusted by them. Whatever little hope they had of staying in the game at 2-0 and trying to drag it out and maybe nick one and cause pressure later on. Once it hit 3-0, it was done and dusted, especially with the way we were bossing possession.
It was much relaxed afternoon you had after that. I mean, that's better than his City goal, but it's similar position again for the goal he's going to get sitting in a Charity Shield. So, look, maybe that's a position he should get himself in. He definitely should score more anyway from that sort of position with the ability he has. But listen, you would sat there going 3-0 up. It was about half an hour on the clock, 2 really good goals, and you're sort of going, I'll be honest, we've just managed the game now. Because you and me have both said, Christ, the turnover to Newcastle's tight. Now we're sort of going, you know, if he gets one more, we could probably take a couple of lads off here. This is an unusual rarity. We're not going to sort of worry about. And then after Trent scores, I'll be honest, the goal I was pleased for, because again, that's another assist for Bobby. I mean, he's got his hat-trick and assists in half an hour, and then he gets his goal where you want a number 9 to be. Look, Salah goes to cross it. It's a fortunate deflection because it goes not where he means it, but that's where you want Bobby to be. That's where you want your number 9 to be. Is there for a tap in for a scrappy goal, and look, takes the goal really well, and you're going happy days 4-0. What more can you want?
Yeah, it was a great finish, and it was like you said, in between the sticks, exactly where you want your number 9 arriving. And for the performance that he gave in that first half an hour, it's exactly what he needed. It's he hasn't scored. I think that was his first goal since 2020 at Anfield in the league.
Yeah, every goal he's scored since December 2020 has all been away from him.
And the thing is, he went through a spate when he was scoring. There were actually tap-ins. You know what I mean? He was just getting across defenders and just slotting them in like a proper number 9. And there's definitely been a conversation this week about where he's getting involved in games, because he never dropped back, you know, until there was a period in the second half where we switched formation to 4-2-3-1 and Salah went through the middle and Bobby was playing in the 10. But other than that, he was in the first half, especially, he was right up the pitch. You know.
Yeah, Chris J says they've hopefully collectively as a team got together and had a long conversation after the first 3 games and put to bed any cracks that were open. Yeah, I certainly does. I mean, look, some of the cracks are you've got 11 players missing. Some of those players missing aren't a surprise. Some of those are muppets because they think Ed Button's a good idea. But you don't expect 11 all at the same time. Yeah. But some of that, especially in the last game, was attitude and application. And regardless of who you got on the pitch, the attitude and application wasn't right in the 2 away games we played, to be fair.
No, it wasn't.
Look, today, we're thinking 4-0, okay, 4-0, get into half time, 4-0, maybe go for one more in the second half, and we're done, really. Robert puts a cross in, and Evan and Bournemouth goes, we'll just leave Virgil van Dijk at his own. And it's a bullet header. I mean, no one's stopping that, but no one's moved. No one marks him. It's so easy.
He was being marked, but he just shifted him out of the way. And it was like watching an under 14 marking a senior player that you just look, young fella, skip. And that's all. It was one of those. It was just banging in. But I've been saying it for the last few shows. The delivery from set pieces had to be better. And today it was. Today it was on point virtually for most of our set pieces today. I think we had 8 corners. We were always threatening. And that is a serious weapon with the height that we've got in our side. And to go in at 5-0, and it wasn't flattering. It could have been 7 or 8. I mean,
well, Salah's missed chance was could have easily made it 6.
Salah's missed chance. Henderson or Bobby had one, or not with Bobby. Sorry, Robertson had one. There was a header that Trent whipped across. That it just skipped and bounced in front of him, and it just went up instead of going down. You know, it was just one of those. You catch it a fraction of a second earlier, and that's a bullet header into the corner. You know, it was 5-0 didn't flatter us in the slightest.
No, it didn't. Red Steve, this is off the catching, mate. All these Firmino outshouts on Twitter have vanished, Chris, some might say. Some might say that. I mean, I was going to say with Van Dijk's header, any hopes Bournemouth had of a comfortable afternoon also vanished. So let's pay the bills. Let's pay the bills. Right. So
let's pay the bills.
IP vanish.
The bills.
Do you want me to pay the bill this time?
Oh, no, you pay the bills. I'm paying the bills.
I know you love reading this out, Kev. So listen, as we all know now, guys, if you browsed online using incognito, it doesn't actually protect your privacy. Without security, you're basically giving away all your private data to hackers, advertisers, and other undesirables. So if you have IP vanish, it's a VPN, and you're truly private and secure on the internet. IP vanish helps you browse the internet, and all your data is 100% encrypted. So that means private details, passwords, communications, browsing history, and many more things are all shielded from the wrong hands, even your physical location, which I don't know, could be quite handy, Kev, couldn't it? It could have been today, but we'll go into that. Now, listen, for IP Vanish, you can use it on unlimited devices without sacrificing speed. You can use it on computers, tablets, or phones, or even on your Fire Sticks with streaming services. And you can use it at home or in public. So basically, don't go online anywhere without using IP Vanish. So the deal they're offering you guys for IP Vanish is 70% off their yearly plan and 30-day money-back guarantee. So in essence, it's 9 months for free. So IP Vanish is very easy to use. It's one tap of a button and you're instantly protected. You won't even know it's on. So basically, stop sharing your privacy now on the internet. And these guys are rated 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. So if you go to ipvanish.com/daytrippers, that's ipvanish/daytrippers, and you get your deal. So there we go. It's cool. And do you want me to do the other one, Kev, or do you want to?
Oh, yes, please.
Oh,
I'm retired.
You're retired. You're trying to remember goals 6, 7, 8, 9, aren't you? That's your problem. You can't remember the goals well. Typical. I'm going on the screen. I've got 2 seconds. Let me do our other sponsor. We're also very good. Right, our other sponsor is BetterHelp. So in essence, we all know, look, we can all have hard times, and just like your car, you need to keep your mind active, you need to keep your mind healthy. So there's many ways you can do that. You can do that by learning a language, taking power naps, Kev, or you can also use BetterHelp's online therapy. A lot of us will know someone who at some point in their life will have difficulty. It does help to talk to people. So what BetterHelp can do, it's an online therapy that offers you videos. You can do it on your phone. You can do online chat therapy, and you can do it with camera, without camera. So whichever you feel more comfortable with. And then you can always match with a therapist within 48 hours, but it's a lot more affordable than it used to be. So for listeners, you get 10% off the first month at betterhelp.com/daytrippers. So you go to betterhelp.com/daytrippers, get your 10% off. Right. So, Kev, while I take a sip of my cider because I'm enjoying myself. Half time, Elliott went off, Carvalho came on. I'm assuming that was resting Elliott's legs. He's probably going to start against Newcastle. And your Carvalho came on. What did you think of him coming on and the shape?
I was delighted that he was coming on, first and foremost. I didn't think it was anything more than that. You know, with Newcastle around the corner, the game was done. And I just didn't know whether he was going to play on the right or left. I didn't know whether he was going to stick Henderson back over onto the right and let Carvalho on the left. But as it turned out, Carvalho went onto the right, and you know, within a minute we're 6 up. You know, and this was probably the only contentious goal for me of the day. The Trent cross to, it was going to be to Diaz. Diaz was offside, but it was Meppen played it in, and it went in as an own goal. Now, the way the offside rule is, then you know, Meppen plays it before Diaz. Doesn't matter what Diaz was or wasn't doing, and it wasn't offside. I honestly, personally believe that goal is offside. All right. If that was against us, I'd be hopping, because what the hell is the defender meant to do?
Yeah, we got a similar goal in the 5-0 at Watford last year. Fairly similar, whereas as ball plays, it goes Salah, the defender slides to intercept it, and they'll Salah's offside, and it falls to Bobby, and he taps it in.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from. It's nice because it's fell for us, so we're both a bit like I don't really care. But it's just one of those funny rules that's in football, and it doesn't quite sit right because you're a bit like, there's no way a natural defender goes, oh, he's offside, I'll leave my foot out and let him tap in, because you just wouldn't, because you're going, well, what if he's not though? Just in VAR world now, you're going, you could have a toenail on side and I'm done for, then it'll look stupid.
Exactly. It's one of those goals that it's just a quirk of the rules. It is what it is. It was a brilliant delivery. The delivery from Trent for that was, Mepham had no choice. He left the defender with absolutely nowhere to go. And it was unfortunate on his behalf. But look, it's 6-0. You take it. And, John Henry must be thinking, I better cross the Atlantic a bit more often,
Well, hopefully he's not thinking of taking a checkbook with me.
Then again, in fairness, he probably rocked up today and he goes, well, lads, what the hell's your problem? You know what I mean?
Thing is, though, he doesn't need a checkbook. I think Thingy Ward's got his password to his account anyway, so it's fine. So, listen, I think a lot got excited. John Henry's here today. Is that because we're getting a midfield? I think that has absolutely nothing to do with transfers. I think it's just a pre-planned trip that he was coming anyway. In terms of the transfers, that would have been done a phone conversation, an email, and that's for Ward and Klopp and them to sort out. It's not. There we go.
Look, he's there. He's there because we're doing deals. That's why he's there.
Possibly. I don't think he needs to be though. I don't think he's there for deals.
No, he's not. Of course, he's not. It's nothing to do with transfers. But at the end of the day, do you know what? I think after the performances that we've had at the start of the season, I think it was actually important for him to turn up and to be there, irrespective of the scoreline today. Because if that had gone sideways today and he's stuck in the stands, you have to front up, and he did. He didn't have a clue what the score was going to be today, so he was there. And I firmly believe that things are happening. But we'll see how that one goes through the rest of the week. But then we had a bit of a lull.
Yeah, Ian McLaughlin saying,
sorry.
I don't think Mo was great today. Missed 2 assists today. Is it a worry going forward? I don't think so. For me, he was in the right positions. Look, he did miss a sitter. The thing Mo did today, which has been a criticism in the past, is when we are ahead in the game 4-5-0 and he's not scored, you know what he's going to do. You know he's going to take every shot on that's there. And to be fair to him, he wasn't doing that. He was still trying to set players up, trying to get in the right position. He missed, by his standards, 2 really bad misses. So I mean, it should have been 11-0 if Mo could shoot. But I'd rather Mo have a dip in a 9-0. I mean, he's 2 goals in 4 games, so I don't think there's too much to worry about. The good thing today was Diaz and Salah were a lot closer together, mainly because we had a Bobby in the middle, so it wasn't like you could put a train through them. They were closer together, which also helps. I mean, Diaz was pretty sensational today. Actually, his all-round game was really good, and his link-up play was good. And I quite like the fact he just bounces up. He doesn't really take a knock too badly. He just bounces straight up. Gets going for it.
Yeah, it was. Look, it's one of those with the way we lined up today. It was made easier by how passive Bournemouth were. I mean, they were done. Their heads were gone. So it wasn't. I mean, you often see sides when they go well behind, they start kicking lumps out of players. That didn't happen. There was a couple of times where some of their players were. I think, who was it? Adam Smith. He was on a booking, and I was sat there. I was thinking, go on now. So Diaz, go at him, but he never needed to because he was tucked inside a lot more, and that in itself we just created havoc all over the place. They didn't have a clue how to deal with us.
Yeah, Wade's play a great response from the lads. Let's move Newcastle on Wednesday. Yeah, that's the next thing we've got to do. So, but Cavalier, when he came on, he did well. He put himself about, didn't he? And he was getting involved, which is sort of you want to see because he played more in the midfield 3 than as wide. I thought he'd be coming a bit wider actually, but I don't think he did. And Bobby gets his 100th goal for Liverpool, which is nice. It's nice, and it's Cop End, so it's quite a nice little. It's a nice thing for him getting 100 goals for the club, doing it in front of the Cop End, and Poacher's finished. This is the only goal where I think the keeper has a bit of a mare, because for me, he sort of palms it with his wrist instead of palming it wide in front of him. Bobby tries once, gets his legs wet, and he has to tap in. So he finishes the game with 3 assists and 2 goals.
I think I don't know. I'm open to be corrected, but I think he's the only Brazilian to hit 100 Premier League goals.
Oh, that's a good one. Where's Keith when you need him?
Yeah, if anyone in the chat could check that, but I don't think off the top of my head there's been another Brazilian forward who's hit 100 Premier League goals.
No,
we haven't
had too many, to be fair, as well. But yeah,
good for him. Panoff is there. He says party time here in Anfield. The mood is good and the drinks are flowing. Absolutely, best way to have it on a Saturday evening, mate. Great way to kick it off.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then I think we saw a few changes then, didn't we? At 7-0, Bobby comes off.
Yeah.
Henderson comes off. And who else comes off? Let me get the list up. Oh, Robson comes off. So Simicast comes on. Young Bajcetic gets a good 20 minutes, which is what we want, really. And then James Milner comes on as well. So we then sort of went to Milner, Bajcetic, and Fabinho in the middle. Carvalho sort of went false 9, didn't he, really? Mo went wide right and Diaz stayed left. But him and Diaz kept swapping. Sometimes you had Diaz.
There was massive rotation all over the place. It was a case of where people were on the pitch at the time when the attack was going on. So Bajcetic?
I'm going to say Bajcetic. I think between us, we say it 4 different ways. And I don't think any of them are right.
Stefan was brilliant.
Yeah.
He's 17 years old. He's a kid, and he never looked overawed. He looked like he wanted a ball. Everything was just on his pace, at his terms. He never shied away from challenges. He was busy when he needed to be off the ball. And when he was on the ball, he just looked calm as he just looked like he belonged. Bobby Clark as well. Bobby Clark, when he came on late on, he didn't look out of place there, and all of that is stemming from training regularly with the first team players. It helps that you're that thorough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then there's no pressure for them. But it's great.
That's a great shout, actually, Dean.
Dean Regan.
Dean Regan TV there. Bajcetic gives him Fabregas vibes. It's an interesting one. I think he's very much like that on the ball, but he's throughout his development he was a centre back. So if he can move into take what he's learned at centre back, his defending ability at centre back, his aerial defending at centre back from a young age, into being a midfielder, the sky's the limit for him. He's already been capped for Spain at under 18s, so the future is bright for him.
Wade says, whenever Liverpool gets that early goal, it's a totally different game. We were rampant today. It is true. We are more comfortable. Most teams are, but we're getting early. Ron's told us, just check Bobby's top of the list. There we go. Thanks, Ron.
Yeah. Cheers, Ron. Cool. Welcome to the chat, Ron. How are you doing, mate?
Good. And then the goal I was really happy for was Carvalho's.
It was a lovely one, wasn't it?
He's threatened that. He nearly did that against Fulham. He did something similar, I think, against Palace. He's been threatening that late, half volley. At some point, it's going to come off. And listen, it's a great cross by Trent. Simicast knocks it back. First time, lovely control technique to get it in the bottom corner. Great goal. Look, he played really well. It was nice to see, both the 19-year-olds getting the first goals in the league for the club. It was great. So
and into the Kop as well. That will be one that is going to get replayed over the years to come, because he's another one. The sky's the limit for him. When he fully matures and develops, when you're looking at this kid at 21, 22, that's why they're bringing him in now at 19, because at 21, 22, he's going to be a seriously valuable player in world football. He's got all the attributes to be that special player, and he's going to get kicked on. He's going to get battled about a bit.
He got a few today, and he had to just take it on the chin a little bit.
Exactly, but did it the right way and didn't react to it, and you'll learn from that. This is a great experience for him, and it finishes off in the end with Diaz with the header.
It was a Simicast cross and good header. I mean, look, I just didn't think he'd be this good in the air, actually. I mean, to be fair, that's one thing Manny was very good at. Manny was also
brilliant in the air.
Yeah,
and Manny had a positioning sense. He had a great positioning sense to be in the right place at the right time. And that's something that comes with age and experience and playing with the same players, knowing how players like to put crosses in. So you learn how to make the run. So the more he plays, the better he's going to be.
Yeah, Kev Paul said hopefully he could be our Bernardo Silva. I wouldn't mind that, to be fair.
Yeah, look. I mean, I've seen plenty of players in that mold, the likes of your David Silva, Bernardo Silva, that have come into the Premier League, taken time to adapt, but they've came to the Premier League much older. These kids are 19 years of age. You can't judge a player at 19 years of age as if he's going to be top echelon or he's going to be a failure at 19. You'd have to be a complete moron to be thinking that. So at the end of the day, once they keep getting their chances and they keep taking their chances and improving on their performances and their decision-making gets better, and as long as we're getting results, it only bodes well for the club in the long term, because these two kids could save you, in essence, £150 million. That's the whole idea. If you went to go out and buy these finished products at 22, 3, 4 years of age for the next 5 years, you're talking spending huge money. If you can get them at 19, 20 and develop them on, you're laughing all the way to the bank. It's the way you have to run your business and to run a club to be sustainable and be able to compete with Petro FCs of this world, is you have to develop some of your own players as well as be very good in the market. That's in there. Yes, lads, vintage Liverpool performance, fantastic result. What a perfect performance. But at this point, keeping a clean sheet was a must. Chris,
Definitely.
That was massive, wasn't it?
It is. We didn't expose Alisson to too many shots either, which we've given away too many big chances. They had chances, but I can't think of any way you're going like that's a big save by the keeper, or they were either routine down his throat or they were from headers from like edge of the box. Where you're going like, well, if you got a header from the edge of the box, a bit like fair play to you,
Yeah.
So there was that maturity. There was definitely that maturity of we want to get to 10, and we definitely did want to get to 10, but we didn't want the sloppiness of keep the back door shut, because it's just nice to get that back. And Kev, the only thing I know is I hope we didn't get to 10. we had chances. That Milner cross, which and it was a cross that he mishit, and you went, "Oh, it's going in top corner." It's like, oh shit! Also, the keeper saved.
Keeper actually did well to shift his body weight back because
he's going out for the cross. He's not going. Yeah. He's not expecting it near post.
He's not coming back. He did well for that, and that's why I said, all in all, Mark Travers didn't have a bad game. He had a couple of dodgy moments, but in fairness, you conceded now. You're going to have a couple of dodgy spells, but in essence, he did really okay. He did okay. Milner, that was definitely a cross, but it's one of those. If you hit it across in that general direction, anything can happen. And that's all you can do sometimes from out wide, is bang it across and hope for the best. Guys, is there anything have any of you guys seen Klopp's post-match? What's he been saying in his post-match interviews? The thing is, because it wasn't on Sky or BT, there's no immediate post-match reaction, but you'd expect to have some stuff up by now.
Yeah.
But all in all,
really good. And then just keeping the theme on for the other areas, I think the under-18s battered United 4-2 today.
Yeah.
And I've just seen Liverpool women have just drawn 1-1 at Man City in a behind the doors friendly.
Wow. Which, that's massive.
It's a big thing because, I've grown up watching the Win Watchers get hammered by City. A 1-1 in a friendly against City again. It's another positive step. So look, it says a Liverpool, all areas of the club, it's going really well.
Really well.
And then we saw young Bobby Clark, who we don't know too much about. You, Kev, you're a bit more up to date on some of the.
Well, his dad is Lee Clark. You'd have heard that.
Yeah, I remember Lee Clark for Newcastle.
I remember Lee Clark, but yeah, he's a young prospect who I think in time will probably benefit from the loan system to be able to go out and get a year's experience, like the likes of Tyler Morton is doing now, and a few others who are out on loan and doing pretty well.
What's his best position, Kev?
I think he's more of a centre mid potentially long term, but he can play up front. He can play either side. He's versatile, and the thing is, I think next year he'll go out on loan, and he'll be one of those players that could benefit from it. But I still think it's going to be. I still think he's going to be looking at him for maybe 3 or 4 years' time. He's one for down the road. But being in around match day squads, training with the first team,
can't do any harm.
What an experience! Can't do any harm.
Go on then. What's your midfield for Newcastle? I'll let you answer this one. Would you change anything from the 3 we started with?
No, same again. It's going to be one of those midfield battles with Newcastle. Ewan was on last night, and he was basically saying that Newcastle will go with Bruno Guimaraes, Joe Linton, and probably Willock as a 3.
Which were 2 of those
that's
physical, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, it's physicality, it's technical ability, and there's pace and strength and power. So you have to match that up, and the confidence that you hope to see from the lads on the back of today to take that forward. We'll see what Newcastle do tomorrow against Wolves, but the dressing room, if you're not bouncing after beating a side 9-0, after the week we've had, after the few weeks we've had, to be able to turn in a performance like that, happy days.
Paul's got some quotes here from Klopp. Very good. We wanted to show a reaction, be ourselves, getting to be the best version of ourselves. We play a specific way. We scored wonderful goals. The game's settled, and we kept scoring. It was about keep going, not to humiliate Bournemouth. We couldn't respect them more. It's about putting the opponent under pressure.
Yeah.
I could bring on kids. They deserve it much. Harvey's a special player. Wonderful goal. Everything was perfect, pretty much. Klopp and Trent's goal. I don't like it too much when a player is 35 yards away and the whole crowd shouts shoot, but this case it worked well.
You can see that.
I hate that, the shoot shout.
Yeah, maybe, but you can see that in the way that we play. The we play now, we don't tend to have, with Coutinho, it was like for the one wonder goal that he had, he'd have 7 or 8 shots and he'd miss 6 of them. And all you're doing is giving back possession and you're relieving pressure. That's all you're doing. For the odd 1 or 2 that will go in 4 or 5 games that they might work, all you're doing is turning the valve off and just letting the pressure go. So I understand where Klopp is coming from there, because it's been phased out of our game for a while.
Yeah, a bit more. At least we don't have to answer the question anymore about not winning. A really good day for us. We won't get carried away. No, I mean we can't get carried away because look, we've been here before. We've had massive wins, and then you've got to back it up the next time. But look, we've got to enjoy it while we can. It's the first 9-0 wins in the Premier League since 1995. So you don't see these things very, very often. So
no,
exactly. So on to Newcastle. I think there will be changes for Newcastle. There won't be many because, to be fair, we haven't got many fit players. I wouldn't surprise me maybe Simicast gets a run out instead of Robbo. Save Robbo for the derby. And I don't know. I still think in midfield wise, maybe you might see maybe a Carvalho coming on the wing, and maybe put Diaz through the middle.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just something a bit different. Just to give him something different to worry about. But listen, there won't be too many changes at the moment. I think the talk is Matip and Jones might be back in training this week, but I can't imagine they're going to be fit for Newcastle. They might be fit for the derby. Jota's probably looking at the derby. Nunez will be the derby. Canate's a bit longer, isn't he? Thiago's going to be longer. Ox, who knows? Keita,
we don't know.
I'm still not convinced he's injured.
Nor me.
Kevin Ball saying a new midfielder debut possibility. I think you have to get registered by, I think it's midday Monday.
Yeah, I'd imagine it'll be Monday. They'd have to be registered. I don't know if it's midday, but I'd imagine
there will be it probably has to get done next few. I would think probably at the latest the day before it's going to be done.
Yeah, so. I think you have to look at it and hope that maybe there'll be some changes to the bench that we could add. If any players are coming back, depending on their fitness, that they might be available off the bench. But look, I think it could be more of the same. And the confidence that the lads are going to take from this, but they'll bounce into that. I mean, there's going to be plenty of shows between now and then, and we'll definitely dig deep into that. But as for today, 9-0, outstanding character.
Yeah. So for the rest of the week, then we've got Fatback for tomorrow. Kev, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm
not. I'm off.
You're off?
Yeah, I'm off. Matt's coming in tomorrow night from my spot.
Take some stick, probably.
Yeah, no, it's just been. I mean, with the shows the way they work out, it actually probably is. It helps me out an awful lot that I can get a sleep on a Sunday night and get up for work on Monday morning.
We'll sort that out for you.
But no, it's Fatback 4 tomorrow night.
Winners and losers.
Winners and losers on Monday.
I'm sure there'll be a viewer show at some point. Probably you and me on Wednesday. Fingers crossed.
We'll be doing a post match Wednesday.
Sorry, I'm doing it Wednesday. I mean, you're doing Shamrock on Tuesday, aren't you?
Tuesday night, there's definitely going to be
something.
I'd imagine there'll be a midweek fix Tuesday night.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, I'd imagine the midweek fix will be Tuesday night. Wednesday will be a post match. Thursday will be viewer's voice, and Friday will be looking ahead to the derby.
Yeah, which might be me and you this week.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll sort something out. Please find Evertonian. Anyone know any Evertonians?
Who cares?
Hey, they should be happy now. Did they win?
Did they get a win today?
Shall we have a look?
I haven't seen any of the score lines today.
Oh no, sorry, they didn't. No, 1-1. I wasn't even set up. I thought they'd won. No, we drew 1-1. 84th minute win equaliser.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. So they are a point with the relegation zone. Excellent. Any other match? The Chelsea result was a bit mad, wasn't it? Down to 10 men after half an hour. They won 2-1.
Yeah, I think match of the day is going to be worth watching tonight. Match of the day.
I think so. It seems to be every game's had instant. City 2-0 down. I know they wanted to win 4-2. There's a controversial disallowed goal for Palace as well. So it's all that sort of fun and games. And then you've now got a London derby of Arsenal and Fulham, and that'd be an interesting one.
Quick question before we go, because we're gonna head off in a minute because
I need to find out I can.
But do you think any club panics between now and the time the window closes, manager-wise?
Rodgers seems to be the favourite, doesn't he? The only thing that might be saving Rodgers a little bit is they haven't really bought many. They haven't really bought anyone. They've sold all his. They keep selling his best players.
I don't know if they can afford to get rid of him. I think he's on such a high wage.
I wouldn't think West Ham have panicked yet. With,
I think Prakhtar Singh is spot on there. I think Rodgers and Stevie. I think Stevie could be in a bit of trouble.
It is because Bournemouth did Villa over, and I think that probably says more about Villa than it does about anybody else. I still think Hasenhüttl is probably favourite for the shop, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be an early one yet.
No, I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay.
Hopefully, it's Frank. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
No, because the last thing they need is a new manager bounce before we play him. They can have it after.
No, we'll do what we did last time. Let's beat them like we were Silver, and then they can bring Big Sam back.
Right, look, we'll knock it on the head there, I think.
Right, on that happy note, because I've enjoyed that. Listen, that was great. Thanks for everyone in the chat. Thanks for everyone who brought the messages. It's really appreciated. So listen, Liverpool Magic today, 9-0, on to Newcastle on Wednesday. Take care of yourselves.